Hello everyone, today I want to give you a full tour of ID Software 5.0 here in this beautiful Volkswagen ID.7 Tourer. It's the Pro version, not the Pro S. And we're gonna go through everything, but first let's start with the overview. What do you see here? Overall, you have down here your climate setting and seat setting. Above here you have all of your apps, your car menu, and then 5 apps that you can choose. You have your outside temperature, your internet connection, if you are connected to the internet, and your time. Down here, like I said, the climate, you have here the temperature that you can switch here, but you can also touch this and then switch it. It takes a second till it goes away. Here we have our on-off button, by the way. Then you have here you have your home button. Every time when you are somewhere and you press home button, you're always back to this home menu. And then we have the seat here for driver and the passenger. And on the left we have the seat ventilation on the seat heating. This is just for ID.7s, ID.3, 4, 5, and I don't know bus. I don't think either. Cannot have the seat ventilation. That's just in the ID.7. And here it says in Eco because nobody is sitting here, but I can still turn this off. But if I don't want that, I just turn the climate on and off one time, and then it's back to what we had. Then we have these 2 buttons here and these 3 here that you can adjust. When you have an ID 3, 4, 5 and so on, then your screen is smaller and you don't have 5, you have only 4 buttons that you can choose. And this is then all of millions of buttons. How many are there? 19 that you can switch from auto, AC, maximum AC, sync, air to windscreen, air to body, air to feet, defog, warm my feet, cool my feet. Those are smart functions. Fresh air, warm hands, rapid heating, rapid cooling, air recirculation, they can turn the climate on and off, windscreen heating, steering wheel heater, and air care where it cleans the interior of the car with the AC compressor. And you can select those 5 buttons and put it here if you want that. Like I said, up here is all of your apps. Here is your vehicle favorites, and then you can get to the vehicle menu as well. And then these 5 up here, you can also, I have to be outside, sorry. You can also select of all the apps that you have, you can put 5 of them in here. Again, if you have ID.3, 4, 5 bus, it's only 4, not 5, because the screen is a tiny bit smaller. And then when you scroll down, you have your favorite button where you have your brightness. You can have all the brightness setting for the ID light, the head-up display, or the display and the switches. And here you change this, and it's the cockpit and the buttons on the steering wheel. Here you have your theme. It can be bright or dark, but bright is disgusting. And then down here you have 8 favorites that you can select. You just press and hold, and then you have so many, 24, 25 different things that you can put on there. Navigation, home, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, hotspot, air condition immediately, the background light, all of this can be done here. So that's our favorite menu. Let's go through the climate first. You press here and then you see the climate. Those air vents that you can adjust here, only ID.7. 3, 4, 5 bus don't have that. There you have manual setting of your air vents. And here you can turn it on off. You can set the airflow here to the feet, to the body, or in auto. You can sync between driver and passenger, AC on max. Here's your airflow, goes from 1 to 7. We put it on 1. Air recirculation, the air care. When what I said, it will clean the air in here. On the right side we have our steering wheel heater, the rear seats. You can see it's an Eco 2 because nobody is sitting in there. You can turn the rear seat heater on. And at the temperature you can lock it that it cannot be changed in the back. If the seat belts are in with a baby seat, or when you have dogs and you have seat belts in, this is then on. So when you have 21.5 degrees AC, it will cool the rear as well, just because the seat belt is on. That's important. Up here we have the auto function we just said. And then we have smart functions here where it does different programs, defog windows, cool my feet, warm my feet, and so on automatically. So we don't have to do anything special. I want to stay in here. Then the air vents, like I said, ID7 only. You can change where this air vent is going, up, down, left, right, and you can turn it off by just tapping it and turn it on. And then up here you can say I want the airflow on me or away from me, which is really cool, and for the passenger as well. Then we have settings here, automatic air recirculation, where it turns it on and off depending on the air quality. Doesn't have to do with smell, it's more when you are in a tunnel or something. And then switch on at start of journey depending on temperature. Steering wheel heating, so in the winter you can set that automatically when it's cold outside. Steering wheel heater is on 1 when you get to the car. Same for seat heating, level 1, 2 or 3, and seat ventilation for the summer. Automatic vent position adjustment. That means when you are in auto and it's extremely hot in the car, those air vents will move. They will not stay in one position. They will move around to cool the car down as fast and as efficient as possible. If you turn that here off, it doesn't do that. It stays the way that you have set it if you only want it in that setting and nothing else. Next we have the seats. Like I said, seat ventilation on the left, seat heating on the right. You can have both at the same time. When you go to the seat, you get your seat settings for the driver and the passenger. And again, only for ID7, max heating, dry boost, max ventilation. And here again, you can turn it on. You can set it to auto, where it does it automatically on the setting that we're going to do in a second, how warm or how cold you want the seat. Massage function, again, only in ID7. In ID3, 4, 5, you have massage function, but it goes with the lumbar support and you just can turn it on or off on the seat. For ID7, you have 10 different programs that you can select, and when you turn it on, you see here an animation where the massage is happening. Right now it's just on the back, and if I take the lumbar, it also does it on the bum. And here you can set how long it should do it, from 10 to 30 minutes, and then intensity from left, middle or full. And you can do the same thing for the passenger. Position, when you are in here, then the control of the driver adjusts the seat of the passenger, and when you press synchronize, you have to press and hold, then the passenger seat will take the exact same position that the driver has. Settings, you have here the driver seat convenient entry function for the driver and for the passenger. Means if you stand and you put the car in park, then the seat will go back so you can easier get out. It will stay at that position. When you get back in and you turn the ignition on, the seat will go in its normal position. Seat air condition settings, this is what I just said for driver and passenger. Means when I have seat intensity and I have it for seat and backrest extra, that's awesome. On let's say in the winter, I want the seat intensity less and the back intensity full. That means when you are in auto, it will heat up the seat less than the rear, but to the level whatever you have set. So I'm guessing this is a temperature value that we don't know what it exactly is, and you can do this for the ventilation as well. So it can be different for the seat than for the backrest. The layout here you can change. You can have more than just 2 windows that we have, and you change it by just pressing it long. And then you can select what layout you want. For example, I make another page. I have 4 different layouts that I can choose, but I don't want any. I can delete a page. I can change different values. For example, this gigantic big one can be navigation, radio or telephone. A smaller one can be more driving data, vehicle, telephone, navigation, tips, help, charging, IDA, and the very small ones can be even more. And then you can see special data. For example, this here is now navigation. I can see where am I and where is what elevation we are. Here I have the drive data, for example. It can be something else. And oh, I went to navigation, and here is, for example, very big my navigation and my charging window. and here music and telephone. But you can change all of this the way that you want it. The vehicle favorite is here. You have 6 favorites that you can choose. Again, press long, and then you have 6, 12, 14 different ones that you can choose from. Keyless access, on, off, trip reset, charging, head-up display, on, off, ID light, wiper service position, interior monitoring, auto hold, all of these different things. And this arrow here sends you to the vehicle menu, but we're gonna do this in a second. Now we're gonna go through all the apps that you can have in this car. And this is this button up here, and we have lots, but we don't have to see all of them. But we start with the phone. Very easy. Here you have all the calls that you had. You can dial, message. You have a few settings that you can choose. You can have favorites, or you can see all. You can see here your phone, charging status, and so on. Next is radio media. It can be a favorite, your player, your radio, your internet radio, digital radio, can be a USB stick and a USB port, a hard drive, or Android Auto. Everything is here supported. And then you have settings for radio media, and you can go to your sound settings as well, but we're gonna do this in a second. Navigation. When you press on a navigation, you have the navigation as a full screen, but again, you can have it as this small thing, and you can just tap it and you see it. You can look for the charging station in the area if you need one. You can rotate the navigation in your direction, 3D in your direction, or to the north. You see your speed limit, and down here you have a filter for charging stations, what power, above 100 kilowatt, 50 kilowatt, all, only available charging stations, Ionity and WeCharge. You can turn that filter off, by the way, if you don't want it. And then you have here search, where you can search for different locations, and you have people. When your phone is connected and you have contacts there with addresses, you can select someone from your phone book and navigate there. Then we have settings down here, and here we have a difference from ID software 4 to 5. First, the electric vehicle route planner is now already here. You can turn that on and off. This means that it will automatically plan charging stops with route guidance. So again, you can turn this here off, and you can say remaining range at the destination from 10 to 100 kilometers, remaining range at charging stopover 10 to 60 kilometers. Prioritize WeCharge for automatic charge stop planning, but you don't have to do that, and show range on the map. Those are the things, and it will automatically add a charging stop. Navigation announcement can be on. It can be comprehensive, where it says everything. You are now on this road for this many kilometers, blah blah blah, and say the whole thing. Or brief, where it just says turn left. Notification sound only, or off. We don't want that. It can be during calls. You can set the volume of it and how strong the infotainment system should get quieter when you have something that the navigation says. The color scheme of your map can be automatic. So when it's light outside, it will be in bright mode, and at night a dark mode, but you can also set it to one thing that you like. In bright mode, it's not a design I like, that's why I have it always in dark. Route guidance and routes. You have some options. In route options, avoid motorways, toll roads, avoid ferries, avoid seasonal restricted routes, and avoid routes requiring toll stickers, except when you put this on. So you can say in Austria, for example, avoid every other toll, but in Austria it's fine, or other countries. That's really cool. Then avoid traffic congestion. What should it do? On, ask, or off. Range warning, country information, a border crossing. That means when you go into a different country, there will be a pop-up that says you are now in blah blah blah, and highway speed limit is this, country is this, and city is this. And then info signs on motorways and dual carriageways. You will get in the navigation a big sign when you have to go off the highway, in what direction you have to go, not just right. It will say take the A3, I don't know, blah 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 blah, wherever you want to go. And do we have extra settings? Was this all? And then basic function, learn usage pattern. You can delete it and stuff like this. I don't know what exactly is saved there. But the map, by the way, this button here always gets you back to where you are and what you're doing. So boop, and you're back where you are, and it zooms into the perfect way. But let's navigate. I did something to Hamburg. That means it has to add some charging stops. I will press start. And now this is what we see. We see where we are. The blue line shows where we have to go. On the right, we have how many kilometers are there, how long, when are we arriving, but when you press it, you see the time, that it's 9 hours. Underneath, and you have to go from the bottom to top. On the bottom, this is us. Then there would be a restaurant, another restaurant, then there's a charging stop, and there's another charging stop. And it will also show traffic jam or some danger zones. If there's something on the highway, all will show up here, when it will be and how long, and if there's a problem. And when you click on this, you can see the whole information. See, here we are, here are the two restaurants. This is the first charging stop. It tells me what it is. I will arrive at this time. It's 205 kilometers away. That will take 2 hours, 12 minutes, and I should charge there for 28 minutes. And when I click on this, I see even more details. I arrive with 18% and I should charge to 79%. And the next charging stop is then here at Alpuls, the same thing. I arrive at this time, this kilometers, and again I arrive with 11%, should charge to 94%, which is not amazing. So I would charge 3 times and only charge to 60%, not so high. And I see also here I arrive with 15% at the destination, takes 9 hours, 811 kilometers, and I have to charge 1 hour and 14 minutes. That's not, when you charge 3 times just to 50-60%, you're there faster. But they all have to learn, and some people don't want to get stressed, they want to charge less. But this is all stuff that will come in the future, hopefully, that we can have a different setting here. But you can also here, I can let me show the charging station where that is, and I can select a different charging station. So in that area, it will show me other charging station. I can zoom in here and select one. I saw someone in here, so for example, I can select this and say continue, and then depending, oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, it was the wrong way. I have to do it here. I have to click on this, and then other charging stations. I would just add a charger now. I want a different one. So if I go, where are we? No, I choose a different now. So I choose this one, say continue, stop over. Now that's 3 charging stops. And of course, this depends how much charging state are you arriving at a charger, because 11%. That's why it doesn't let me go to this charger, but I'm only charging for 5 minutes. This is all the settings we had. If I go down to 10 kilometers at a charging stop, then this charger won't come. And I can delete the one I put in myself, but not the ones that the navigation put in. I can't delete those. Doesn't work. And with the red thing in the navigation, or even outside, when I see it here, the navigation, I can stop the navigation if I don't need that anymore. And then up here I see my last few stops that I made, and even if I didn't navigate there, if it notices you're always going on the spot, it will tell you maybe we want to go there today too. It will just show that up here. Vehicle. Here we have 2 different ones, the vehicle settings and the status. In the status, I can see my odometer, and I have a distance. This is a 4th driving data, where it's just kilometers, but 100 meters as well. In the normal driving data, I have only full kilometers. I can reset this. I have my instant consumption, 1 kilowatt right now, because of the AC. When the car is standing without anything and it's on, it's around 300 watt. And down here I have my driving data. I have the kilometers driven, the time, the average speed, and the average consumption. And I can reset. I have 3 trips: since start, long term, since charging. Since start and long term I can reset myself. Since charging does it automatically. So when I charge and I drive on, it will set the trip. When I have the car parked for 4 hours, it will reset the since start trip. And important here, which is awesome, when you had the car parked a week, I'm just saying something, and then you come in, it will still say this number. Only when you drive on, it will then reset this number. So this is really cool. If you, oh, I forgot to write down, I wanted this data for whatever reason, you can still do it, but I can reset it here as well. And important, the time, all of this is going on when the ignition is on. So when you're charging and you have the ignition on, this time will go on and will count. So the average speed and something like this. So because your kilometers stay, but your time goes up, your average speed goes down. But when the ignition is off, this will not go on. Vehicle menu. We have here our vehicle menu on 4 different pages. Let's take the first, comfort light, exit light duration. Isn't this more up? Yeah, there we have. But what are you doing? I want all the way up. Yeah, light animation. This is when you turn on the car that the light makes a little dip. You can turn that off if you don't want that. Switch on when approached. When you get close to the car and you have keyless, and you don't even have keyless entry on, the light will go on. When you unlock the car, you have the entry light duration. That means that this light in the interior will be on and will be on for 30 seconds. When you set it, it goes from off 5 seconds then to 30 seconds. And the same for exit light duration. When you lock the car and go away, the light will stay on for up to 30 seconds, but it can be off as well. Then tail lights can be an animation, 1, 2, or 3. I made a video about that with my ID7, the different animations that are possible. Or off. Then the turn signal can be classic, just a normal indicator, or dynamic, where it just will make the animation only in the rear, not in the front. Tires. Here, when you have, you cannot see the tire pressure as a value. When you have checked the tire pressure, it's all fine. You can set, and then it will remember your tire pressure. And when this is changing by a good value, not just by a bit, you will get a warning. And for the winter tires, you can have a speed warning that goes from 30 to 240 kilometers. Mirrors, you can do synchronous adjustment, means if I change the left one, the right mirror is changing too. Lower in reverse. When I'm in reverse and I've selected the right or the left mirror and I have this on, the mirror will dip down so I can see the curb. And then fold in when locking. When I lock the car, the mirrors will fold. In the winter, you should turn that off, that the mirrors don't break. We did mirrors. Headlights, we have the dynamic light assist. I think this is the distance, how far the light goes, that it adjusts this automatically. Dynamic cornering light, this is when you're driving and you steer into a corner, the light will go into this corner as well. Switch on time, depending how dark it is, early, medium, or late. Automatic headlight control in rain. When it's raining and the rain sensor notices that it's raining and your wipers are on, the light will go on as well. Convenient turn signal. When this is on, you blink 3 times. When you just tap it, if this is off, it's just once. And then travel mode, are you driving on the right or on the left? Then brakes, here we have our ESC system that can be in sport, where you get a bit of spinning wheels in the snow, that's a bit better. Rollerway protection, it will ask you if you are in N, if this is okay, because you can go into N. And then auto hold you can turn on here. Auto hold is that when you're starting to drive, you're still braking and you have to touch the power or accelerator button that you move forward. And the same when you are on a light or on a, I don't know, in a traffic jam, you press the brake a bit harder and the parking brake engages, and just with the accelerator button you can drive on. You don't have to hold the brake the whole time. Easy open for the trunk, you just make a gesture with your foot and the trunk opens. You can turn that off if you don't want that. Windows, convenience opening can be all windows or driver window. When you use the button, unlock button on your key and press and hold, it will open the windows, all windows or driver windows. And then opening, closing. Here we have keyless access, can be active or off. So when you get close to the car, it will recognize your key, and you can do unlock vehicle when approaching, then it unlocks. And you can do lock vehicle when walking away. That when you go away and you don't press the lock button on your key or on the door handle, it will lock, will make a beep, 2 beeps did it. Important is when you do that with just walking away, the interior monitoring, the alarm system is not on. With the key or with the door handle, it is on. And you can have a double acoustic warning if locking fails. So if one door is a bit open, it will not lock, and it gives you a did if that you know, it didn't work. Door unlocking. So when you unlock the car, it can be all doors, the vehicle side or a single side. It means if you are on this side, only this side will open. Easy open again, and interior monitoring is the alarm system. Next we have the wipers. They do wipe automatically in rain with the rain sensor. Rear window wiping in reverse gear. When you are in reverse and it's raining, sensor, then the rear will wipe automatically. And wipers in service position, the same button is here. They go up so you can change them if you need. Next, Android Auto or Apple Carplay. When you turn that on, it can be via USB-C cable or via wireless. If you have Wi-Fi on in the phone and you on the car and you connect to this, then you don't need a cable to do that. And amazing here is it takes the same space as your normal infotainment system, and you can go out and in with just one button. You don't have to find the turn auto, Android Auto off or Apple CarPlay. That's really awesome. Parking. You have 3 things. First we have the camera. Here you can select what camera you want to see. Side ones, back, front. You can have it as full screen or like this, or you can see the car from top like this. How do I get back? Like this. And you can have a different camera angle if you want this. And when you are in reverse, it will move the camera to the extreme when you extremely steer, so you can see that. Then we have the park assist, where you would see, we have made an extra video about this. You can see that there's a parking space was noticed, and you can select how you want to park there and do all of this. You have a memory parking, where you can save a parking progress and edit it in here, so a different name or different icon, or delete it. And we have settings. Park distance control settings, active automatically, where it beeps the volume and reduce the infotainment system volume. And by the way, when you are in the camera, you can turn it off down here if you don't want that. Next setting, exit warning. When you open the door and there's a car coming from behind, it gives you a warning. Maneuver braking, when you reverse and it gets closer and closer and it thinks you're gonna hit something, it will brake itself. You don't have to do that, but it's scary. It's really hard braking. And rear traffic alert, you back out of a parking spot, someone is coming from the side, it will give you a warning as well. And then park assist with memory function, what we just did. And Park Assist Plus with remote parking capability. When you go in here, you get a QR code. You need an extra app on your phone. I'm gonna make an extra video about that. Then you scan the QR code, you connect it with Bluetooth to the car, and you can park the car via the phone outside of the car. Charging. Here you see your state of charge, your range, and then a few settings. You have here your charge limit that goes from 50 to 100%. I have a charging location on right now, and so I have more options, but we're gonna go through this in a second. Optimize, here you see how much power you can charge at this state of charge right now with this temperature. If the battery would be cold, the blue line would be on a different level. It will say with how much power it can charge right now, and underneath would be a manual preheating button or preconditioning, and it will also say how long it will take and with what power you can charge then if the battery is warm. Let's go first through the settings here. Battery care mode, this is on or off. Here it will go when you have the charge limit to 100%, and then you have charged and go on. It will automatically go back to 80%, so when you're on a long distance trip you should turn that off. The battery care mode in ID software 5.0 is now smarter, so if the battery is extremely cold or extremely hot, this could be a different level. It doesn't have to be 80%. Then we have the electric vehicle route planner, what we just see in navigation. It can be turned on and off here, and also the settings to that. Bidirectional charging, you can power your house when you have a special wall box. You need something special for that. And then reduce AC charging current. It will half your power. If you are connected to 11 kilowatt, will be 5.5 and so on. And release AC charging connector automatically. If you have that on, you don't have to unlock. When it's done charging, the connector is unlocked and you can just unplug. You don't have to unlock the car. Charging location. Here you can add a charging location, can be up to 5 different locations. For example, at home or work or something, you add one or edit one. I want to go in there. And what you can do are the following. Again, reduce AC charging and release charging connector automatically. Then you have 3 times that you can select. And for example, I set it that at 7 AM from Monday to Friday, it should do that charging. And down here, I say how it should charge. I say charge directly to 50%. I arrive with 10% at home. And I don't want the car to charge, stay at 10% for a long time. I can select this. It will charge automatically to 50%. And then whatever time I have set, I will charge to the 50 to the 80%. At that time that I have set before. And then we have preferred times. When I select this, it will only charge between 10 and 6 AM. And then this is the thing what we have here in charging. I have then charge immediately. I plug in, it will charge to 80%. I have charge for departure time on Tuesday at 7 AM. When I select this, it will not charge when I plug in, it will charge in the morning. So at 7 AM it has that 80% that we have selected. Charge and air conditioning for departure time. It will charge and preheat or pre-cool the battery depending what it is. And charge at preferred times. When I turn this on, it will charge to the 80% only in the times that we have set, because our departure time is outside of that. Stationary air conditioning. Here you can select temperature when you want stationary air conditioning on. What temperature you want, automatic window heating. So when you preheat so planned preheating, it will heat up the windows as well, the front and the rear. And you can select a schedule, of course, and you can say, hey, from Monday to Friday at 6:35, I want the car warm in the morning. In the summer, for example, I can turn that off. I have only one setting, start stationary air conditioning and vehicle is unlocked. That means usually when you get into the car, you have to press the brake for the ignition or the button down here, and then ignition is on and your air conditioning is working. If you have this on, when you unlock, air conditioning starts with the setting that you had when you left the car. That means when you, for example, unload stuff from the car, the air conditioning is running the whole time. So it all depends if this is something for you. Next, we have assist system. Assist system can be in the image view, where it's pretty slow right now because I'm working for 1.5 hours just with the infotainment system here. You can select the different options here, or it can be a list. Here we have lane assist, can be on off. It's automatically always on when you get into the car. Vibration in the steering wheel. Speed warning since the EU. All the settings here reset to this every time you get to the car, but when you're in, you can change that it's just a display, not a sound, the threshold, and that you want a sound when the speed limit is changing. Attention monitor can be on or off, so it will notice when you're not paying attention. Drowsiness monitor, if you drive weird, it will give you a warning. Front assist braking, it will automatically brake when there's danger. You can display the distance warning, swerve support where it drives away, and oncoming vehicle braking when turning, whatever that is. Travel assist can be Only option here is assisted lane changing on the highway, where it does this automatically. Adaptive cruise control, you can have the speed limit response, where it sets the speed to the speed limit that it recognizes with the camera, but to the exact value, not 10 kilometers more or something. Road layout response means when you have it on 100 and there's a strong corner, it will tell you, hey, there's a corner, I will go down to 60 kilometers an hour, and it does that. And end of queue is when there's a traffic jam, it knows that, hey, there's a traffic jam, I'm gonna slow down. Speed limiter can be on off. Eco assist, you can turn that on, then it will tell you, hey, you're going to the right and there's a light, you should better slow down or let it roll, something like this. You get a bit of tips how to have less consumption. Side assist lane change system, this is the blind spot warning in the mirrors. You can select how bright it is, if it's on or off. And then traffic hazard alert, this is car 2X. It will show you a warning if there's a car on the road or if there's anything else not working or not as it should be. Settings, we have 4 different things. We have network, where here we have the Wi-Fi that you can turn on, set a different name, different password, and then connect with your phone. So you can have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay wirelessly. And you can also Wi-Fi connect to your phone, for example, if you want to use the data of your phone. You have your system information, where you see your software version and everything, and can see updates if there would be any. In the settings, we have our screen, show clock in standby mode, and other options. There's a lot. It is mostly about tone. So sounds, time and date can be automatically, but you can set it yourself. Language, we have a lot of them. And the special languages have the voice for the navigation and the IDA, the personal assistant, female or male. Additional keyboards if you want that, units if you want to change them, the voice assist, but we're going to get to this in a second. Wireless charging for your mobile phone can be turned off here. Restore factory settings and upgrades. If you have not bought everything that the car can have software wise, so travel assist, you can buy that later. Driving profile, we have 4 driving profiles in here. In the all-wheel drive version there's one more, winter. You have eco, comfort and sport, and individual. In individual you can select different things for different stuff. So DCC, dynamic chassis control, that's how comfortable the car is, from comfort to sport, and you can select different levels. Steering can be in comfort and sport. Drive can be in eco, comfort and sport. The engine sound, so the exterior engine sound, can be in comfort. This is the normal, and sport sounds like a Porsche Taycan. And adaptive cruise control can be in eco, comfort and sport. This is how fast it's accelerating when there's a speed limit in your cruise control, when you change it or a car is going away. Light assistance can be in comfort and sport, and air conditioning can be in eco, where it uses less power for heating and for the AC. Background, this is the ambient light. It can be a mood, can be off, automatic. You can turn change the brightness up here, or it can be individual, where you can select all one color, 2 colors, what zones have what color. You have 2 colors that you can select. And then you can select also the brightness for the different areas. If you want the foot area to be dark and the doors to be bright and whatnot, a lot of different stuff. Seats, we already did. Sound, here you have an equalizer, and down here you have an extra equalizer on top, a bit of a boost, and it can be from pop to neutral. And here you can reset your equalizer. You can focus the whole thing in the middle of the car or to a special seat, and you can have surround sound as well. We have volume for different things, adjust according to speed. If you're driving faster, how much does the infotainment system get louder? You can select here how much that is. Maximum switch on volume. If you have partied yesterday, then you get to the car in the morning, it will turn down the volume of the infotainment system to 11 right now, and you can select whatever you want. Reduce infotainment system and parking, the goodbye sound, navigation announcement, and so on. But in settings, you can also turn the goodbye sound off here as well, and the touchscreen sound and stuff like this. Users. In users, it will show you all the users that you have. You can add one, have a guest. In the settings, you can see login details. You can have an S pin where you have to put in a pin every time you want to use your user, your information, privacy setting. This has to be on, the first two, so you can use the app, and the last one is for Car2X, that if there's something happening on the car on the road, so you know, ooh, there's something broken, I should be careful. Delete active user, and users in the car are not with the key. It's when you get in, you have to select it. That OK button for the privacy setting is still here. And when you have selected, then the seat, the side mirrors and the infotainment system will adjust. Again, not with the key, just with what you have selected. IDA is our personal assistant. You have here your news feed that you can change what you want to see. Activation can be with a special word. You can say, hey, this is hello ID. Then it comes up, but you can also save your own. Hello Hank. I said hello here Hank, yeah. And then it does this, but you can also use the button on the steering wheel if you prefer that. And then you have some tips what you can do, and the settings, what you see in newsfeed. If you want a sound every time you turn it on, in the beginning, after input, how loud is it? Take calls without an activation word, show voice input. This will write down what you have said. If you did navigation, it will show you what you have said, if it really understood you the right way that you have wanted to. Tips and helps, we don't need. ID software, here you can see your current software 5.0. Oops, too far. Wellness app, I'm gonna do this in an extra video full because that's new. Vehicle service, it will, when you use this, it will connect to your Volkswagen partner and tell you, hey, you soon need a service, and then the Volkswagen partner will call you, don't you want a service? It should be done in the next few weeks or so. Spotify is the same as before. You have here your different things, browse, reasons, what you have searched for, library and all of this. And if you want to see what you're listening right now and you can do more, go to the album, go to the artist, and you can scroll it down if you don't want to see that. And then when you go out, you see your music thing here. And what, God, it's really slow right now with being in here the whole time. It's usually faster. This is weird. It's really overwhelmed with just sitting here for 2 hours and just talking. And here you see what you're listening to. And if I go to media and go out, then it's in Android Auto right now. So air conditioning we already did. God, it's slow right now. And the shop, in the shop you can get additional things like Spotify, the wellness app, WeCharge, WeConnect Plus, you need that to use the map, and you have some settings, what country you want to use the shop, legal info, and then app updates. Here will show you if there's an app for any of, an update for any of your apps. And I think that's it. If you want to follow me on Instagram, BatteryLife1, and if you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link in the description below, and here on YouTube there's also channel membership. And if you're interested what's happening behind the scenes of this channel, I have a third YouTube channel, Behind the Battery. But that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and take care. Bye!